Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Okay, how is everyone doing? It's been a little while. Yeah. so, yeah, my last stream was on Friday. I was supposed to stream on Saturday. But yeah, I ended up like resting and doing other things because I had a pretty tough week, honestly. The previous week. I'm also receiving messages from people on Discord, so let me just mute it. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, it was a really busy week for me. The previous week. Also, let me check my audio really quick. Also, let me check my. It's perfect. Okay, so I have a couple news. Okay, I have a couple news. And a couple exciting news. So yeah, basically, let me first go with the most non-exciting one, which is it's still exciting, but it's not a big deal. It's not something really big, but I have updated the overlay with a couple things. Okay, so one of them is the thing you can see like here in the camera. You can see my name here. Okay, because I wanted to add this, of course, because that's my okay, that's my nickname, whatever, my name, it's there, Fran, that's my name. And also because on YouTube, the channel is called Neptosmic. Neptosmic is my studio, my game studio. And I understand that, well, now this is the first stream where like you're going to be able to see my real name down here, but like if people were watching the streams on YouTube, or if anyone who doesn't know the channel or me or the project or anything watches the any of the previous streams up to this point, they can think that they are going to think that I am Neptosmic, like, which in certain way I am, because it's my studio, I'm the owner of that studio, but that's not my name. So yeah, right now, like, this is great because now people are going to know that this is my name, Fran. Okay, so this is mostly something for the YouTube side, like for everything, because it's good to have my name down there. It's great, and also that's my at pretty much every social media place. So on Twitter, on, I don't know, well, Blue Sky, yeah, also Blue Sky, or Reddit, or I don't know, whatever. TikTok, no, TikTok I don't have. Like, I have a TikTok account for Voyager, but not for me, myself. So whatever, in any case, it's really good to have this so that people on YouTube know that this is my name, and it's not Neptosmic my name, but rather Neptosmic is the name of the studio. Okay, so I'm streaming basically for the official channel of my studio. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing I added, and this is so that like, I'm not going to be using this a lot, but this is basically for when I do, like, when I stream like something else that's not Voyager dev. For example, if someday I want to stream, I don't know, playing some games or whatever thing, I have this little thing here that changes the title that you can see up there. So if I here write, for example, retro gaming, okay, you're going to see that it's updated right there. So sorry, my my tongue is doing weird things, but yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I didn't have that before, but yeah, right now I can change that whenever I want. I also can type, for example, Voyager dev. I can change it whenever I want so that it doesn't look like the same always. But I'm just going to leave it like that, which is the classic title when I'm working on Voyager, because that's great. But I can change that. For example, I can set it to whatever we're working on today. So for example, I like having that title so that everyone knows that I'm working on Voyager, which is the game, the name of the game and that thing. But I don't know, maybe in the future I can use it for setting the title of, I don't know, let's say right now I'm working on, I don't know, combat systems. I can type combat systems here, and you can see there the title changes, and I can, you know, people is going to instantly know what I'm working on and stuff like that. So that's pretty amazing. That's pretty good. So that's the other update I have for the overlay. And the last update in the overlay, I don't know if you already noticed, but it has to do with my exciting news, which is, if you can see down there in the subscriber count, you can see the follower count is 65 and the latest follower is Adam R1337, okay? But now in the subscriber field, well, right now I'm at 0 subscribers. This is for Twitch, not for YouTube. This is for Twitch subscribers. You can see that it says now, beat the first subscriber, okay? Before it said, help me become an affiliate. But guess what? Right now I am an affiliate on Twitch. So I'm officially an affiliate on Twitch. So right now, if you follow me on Twitch, if you watch from Twitch, you can subscribe to my channel and you can support my channel, my project. That way you can also donate bits. That's another thing you can do on Twitch. So this is like a huge milestone for me, because there were like some requirements for my channel, for how many stream hours I had to do for a certain period, and like the follower count and the viewer count average. All of those things are completed for my channel, so now I am an affiliate. So that's pretty good. This is only like good news for Twitch and YouTube. Everything is the same. But yeah, that also means that, well, this is another really good thing, and you can see now that on Twitch you can change the quality of the stream, which was something that you could not do before. So if you watched my stream like at any time before today, the only quality that you could set was 720 at 60 frames per second. That's my output. That's what I'm outputting to Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, so on YouTube you could change the quality like always, because YouTube lets you do that. But Twitch, it's like, unless you're an affiliate, you cannot change, like you don't have any other options, any other quality options for the stream, for the viewers. So viewers could only watch the stream at one quality, which is the source quality. So that's why I have been streaming in 720p all this time. So right now, well, not now, but in the next stream I will start streaming at 1080p 60 fps. That's really cool, because all of the streams I did up until this point were in 720, and also the stream on YouTube, which are saved there, so they are like they're published you can watch all of the streams there in YouTube because they get saved. All of them are in, like, the max quality is 720, which is fine, but I would like them to be at 1080p, but that's how it is. I didn't set up my OBS so that I had like different outputs for Twitch and YouTube for the quality. I have like one plugin that basically duplicates what I'm sending to Twitch and sends it to YouTube too. So so yeah, that's why I didn't change it like for each platform, but whatever, I don't really care. The good thing is that now I can start streaming at 1080p 60 fps, and that's going to be for both Twitch and YouTube, and from now on every stream is going to be saved at that max quality, which is pretty good. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy that I am an affiliate now, because there's so many things that I have now in the channel. Not only you can support my channel and my project and everything via subscriptions on Twitch and bits and stuff like that, but you can also get channel points. So basically channel points are well, so let me how can I check this? Get started. Yeah, so this is okay. Let me do something here. I'm going to do Twitch brand. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing myself. Oh my god. So yeah, you can see here, down here, that you have travel points. Okay, I have like infinite because it's my channel, but you can redeem rewards here. Hey Ciala, how you doing? Thank you for the congrats. So yeah, I'm basically showing the new stuff in the stream, in the channel. That's pretty good. So I was showing some stuff. So for example, now you can subscribe. You can also send bits. There's new channel emojis, and I added one free emoji, so anyone can use it. You don't need to be a subscriber to use that emoji, which you just sent. The only bad thing is that you cannot see it in the overlay chat, which I could modify, like update the overlay in the future so that you can also see the emojis there, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, you can see that you can use that emoji, and there's a couple other emojis for subscribers, which are the heart, Voyager, and also a little planet. So those are the new emojis for subscribers. I also added different icons or badges for subscribers. So you can see here, 1 month subscriber has basically a white star, and hey, thank you very much. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the 500 bits. That's amazing. Thank you. So yeah, well, I just realized that I don't have an alert for bits, so I will have to add that. I will add this as a task for my thing. So yeah. Bits alert. Okay. I'm just going to do that whenever I have time. Thank you very much for the bits, Ciala. Thank you. So yeah, not only we have new channel emotes or emojis or whatever, different subscriber tiers have different badges. So the 1 month subscriber, well, can I show you this? I have the thing somewhere around here. Yeah. So can I open this in the browser? Yeah. So you can see here, we have the base in 2 months. So like 1 and 2 months have this, the gray star. 3 month subscriber have this yellow star. 6 month is green. 9 month is this pinkish and whatever, and 1 year is the blue one. Okay, so that's amazing. We have subscriber badges. And the other thing I added, which is really cool, and I think, I don't know, maybe some people are going to be interested in that, is this. So we have the channel rewards for points just for watching. You don't have to pay anything. So basically we have the basic things like the rewards, which is, I don't know, highlight my message, unlock a random sub emote, send a message in sub only mode. Well, those basic rewards, but I have one specific new custom reward, which is name a planet. So this one, can I zoom in so you can see it better? Yeah, so this one, you can name a planet in Voyager's universe. This one costs, for now, 4,000 traveler points, okay? So, thanks for failing at colors, beyond the base 5 as me. What does that mean? I don't know. So, basically, if you redeem this, I have an idea for people that want to support my channel and my project and anything, and basically that's you can do it like just by watching. Like I said, traveler points are, you can gain traveler points by just watching. You don't need to be a subscriber or anything. You just need to watch the stream. And that way you can get to 4,000 traveler points and redeem this, which is for naming a planet in the game. That means that at some point I'm going to implement something for the game where, well, so the way that the game is going to work is kind of like Minecraft, where you create a new world, like a new save game is a new different world with a different seed. So that's how this game is going to work. It's not like No Man's Sky, where there's just one universe and everyone is discovering like everything in that same universe. In Voyager, there's as many universes as you create a save game. So every time you play, because it's a single player game, when you create a new save game, you are creating a new universe that's going to have lots of different things, okay? Different planets, different generations, okay? So you can create every time. Or you can also use the same seed that you like. So for example, you liked some seed that the way it generated planets and stuff. So in that sense, you can use that same seed again and generate the same universe every time and play in that same universe. But whatever, what I'm trying to say is, I'm going to create something, implement something in the game so that viewers and supporters can name planets, and those planets are going to have some kind of like percent, like probability percent of appearing in your universe, okay? So for example, you go to a new star or whatever, at some point you're going to find a planet that has the name that you put to the planet, okay? To any planet in the game. So I need to like add a better description here so that so that users know exactly what they're doing, because they can think, oh, okay, so every time I play the game, the first planet, I don't know, one of the planets I find is always going to have the name, or they can think that the game has a number of planets and that's it. But in reality, everything is kind of infinite. So every time you play the game, you're going to create a new universe. Unless you use the same seed every time, you're going to create a new universe, and that's going to generate everything randomly, so you don't know what's going to be there. So it's not that you always get the same planets, it's going to be always generated, but there's a certain percent that you can find one of the planets named by one of the supporters, and that could be you. If you watch from Twitch, you can get channel points, traveler points, and with 4,000 traveler points you can redeem this. Okay, so that's a really cool idea I thought about. I think that could be something that people could be interested in. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think, and if you have any ideas for other like kinds of rewards for Twitch, let me know. If you're watching from YouTube, I would suggest to follow me on Twitch, because it's the best way to support the channel. Because right now you can, like I said, you can subscribe, you can cheer, you can send bits or whatever. That's a really great way to support my project. And you can also get points and redeem cool rewards. So that's great. Hey Lou, hello. Sorry, I just read your message. Hello, welcome. You know what? I'm just going to send the friend, and I just messed it up. So is it like this? No, it's not the. What the hell? What's the emoji? 741 love? Is it that the? I don't know what I'm doing. I cannot even use my own emojis. I thought that was the name I said. I put it to the thing, but I don't know. Maybe that's not the name of the emoji. And I can't even see the emojis. My own emojis. Yeah, because I have a really tiny window there, so yeah. Whatever, it didn't work on Twitch. Let me just try again. Okay, let me see. So it's like this. Okay, let me mute this, please. How is this? Oh yeah, it's with a capital L at the beginning, so it would be Fran741 love. Yeah, okay, that worked. Okay, perfect. So that's the exciting news I have. Again, thank you very much, Ciala, for those bits. You're the first person to ever donate bits on my channel. So yeah. I would say if you want to name a planet in the game, I will just create for now a little document where I keep track of that kind of thing. So I'm just going to create here a little thing. So I don't know if you're listening now, if you're there, let me know. But I just want to thank you for the bits with this. If that's good for you, if you want to name a planet in the game, just let me know and I will do that, okay? So, planet. So yeah, for now, I'm just going to do this. And here I will have whatever. I am just going to write it here. But then I will create another class and something much better for this. But for now, I'm just going to write it in a text document. That's gonna be enough. No clue at the moment for the name. Well, it can be just your name. So I will just add it. I will just say Ciala. I'm just going to say Ciala. Okay. It will be some temporary Esteban Cambiaso. Okay. That's great. That's a cool name. Cambiaso. That sounds good. Is that Italian? I think that's Italian. An Italian last name. I think. My last name is also Italian. They are the best sounding. Argentinian football player. Oh, really? Oh yeah, you're right. I'm so dumb. Yeah, I'm not really that much into football. I like watching the World Cup and Messi and whatever. It's fine, but I'm not a football fan. I used to play when I was younger. I played a lot of football in like my little town with my friends, but nothing too big. But yeah. But he's Italian descendant. Yeah, just like me, I'm Italian descendant too. That's really good. It's really interesting. Okay, great. We have the first planet name redemption. It was not a redemption. It was more like a cheer, like bits. I don't know, my way to thank you for the bits. So yeah, that's really good. At some point we changed that name. Okay, no problem. So oh yeah, I should I will set it to placeholder right now. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's pretty good. Also, another thing I was thinking about is that for each planet, there's a percent, for example, 1% possibility for appearing in your universe. That's really low, but like, so what I mean is, for example, whenever I generate a new star, that star is going to contain planets, and the planet names are going to be generated at that point. So when I do that, there's, for example, 1% of your planet name to appear to one of the planets. And that's going to happen once, only once, for every universe. How many stars are you thinking of? Well, stars are basically infinite. So remember, you can go to, so there's constellations. Constellations have a set number of stars. You can explore any of those stars, so it's like between 3 and 7, I think. But then you can like discover new constellations every time. Like, it's infinite basically, there's no limit. So you can be exploring the same universe forever if you want to. So you're going to find as many stars as you can, as you might. So yeah, you can be exploring new constellations, and each star inside that constellation is going to have a number of planets, and any of those planets can contain the planet with your name. And what I was going to say is that, for example, the first time you redeem that the planet, name a planet reward, the base chance percent is going to be, for example, 1%. But then if you redeem again, if the same user redeems again the same reward, the user can choose to to add a different name, so that there's two names for one user, or add more chances for the same planet, for the same name. So for example, let's say you have 1%, okay? If you redeem again the name a planet reward, you can choose to add, like, increase percent or add new name. So if you choose 2, you can say, for example, okay, new name. But if you choose 1, then you can increase this by 1%, for example. And I would have a cap to that, a limit, so that it doesn't get to 100%, because, well, I don't know, maybe you can get to 100%, and for example, whenever you create a universe, the first system you enter is going to always have one planet that has that name, that it's like 100% guaranteed. So yeah, that's how it could work. I don't know, those are just ideas, so I would be evolving this thing in like over time, but that's the initial idea, so I think that's basically how we should do it. So yeah, that's great. Even constellation could be named. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly. I was thinking about something like that too. So for example, you can name constellations, you can name stars, you can name planets, and maybe there's going to be more things. So for example, maybe the enemies you encounter, like the Vectorialis, maybe each one has a name, or NPCs can have names, procedural name, but supporters can also add names to NPCs, so that there's 1% chance that you can find an NPC with that name that you provided, for example. I'm using 1% as an example. It's really low, and it's really like really low percent, but like just for now as an idea, I think it's pretty good, and we can polish that over time, like I said. So that would be really cool. I don't know, I'm just really happy with this, really happy. So yeah, that's a really good sign for like knowing that the channel is growing. We're getting new viewers here and there sometimes. Of course, I don't have like a really high number of concurrent viewers every time. It's always around 3, 4, 5, sometimes 2, sometimes sometimes it's just me, just one viewer. But that's amazing, that's great, that's how it is, and it takes time. And I'm also not streaming every day, which would help a lot. And I'm not streaming for longer periods of time, so I'm just streaming for 1 or 2 hours, which is not a lot, honestly. And for now, it's all I can do. So maybe at some point I get to stream for longer periods of time, and maybe even like more frequently. But that would be determined by what happens if weekends are full. Yeah, you mean like in viewer terms? Like I noticed that in the weekend, for example, on Friday, too many streamers online. Well, yeah, that's also true. But you know what? It's really interesting, because I have been noticing, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I have been noticing that on Friday and Saturday are the days that I have the better like viewer count. So it happens that on those days I maybe get to 6 or 7 viewers, and I also get raids on those days. And for example, Mondays are the days that I get like the least viewers, the least amount of viewers. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence, but yeah. But yeah, you're right that it's true. On weekends is the like most people are streaming just because they are not working, and it's logical, of course. So yeah, if at some point we get to a number of subscribers or whatever that let me just work on this full time and just leave off Twitch revenue, that would be amazing. That's really hard because yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot. I would need, I don't know, maybe maybe 300 subscribers or 200, I don't know. Which is a really high number. I don't know. So yeah, but we can work towards that. And it doesn't matter right now. I'm happy with the current progress, and I hope to keep making progress. So now, after all of that, those really good news about the Twitch channel and the overlay and streaming and everything, I would like to start working on the game. Okay, so it's been like almost 40 minutes. And yeah, so yeah, let's get into Voyager dev. Okay, I will be streaming for a longer time today, so maybe like 1 hour, 1 more hour, around that. So yeah, that would be great. So okay, so let's get into Voyager. So this list of tasks is what I have to work on today. Okay, so in the previous stream I basically did like a huge refactoring of all of the classes, like for universe, for constellation, for stars, planets, all of that that's generated in runtime. Okay, all of those classes were refactored so that they now have a reference to the generation context. So the generation context is basically a class, a wrapper class that contains the UID, like the ID for the current universe, the current constellation, the current star, and the current planet, and all of that. Like, not the current, but the one that, for example, planets now have a direct reference to the star that owns them, okay? And the same thing goes for stars. So stars have a reference to the ID of the constellation that owns those stars, okay? So that's what I did in the previous stream. So now what we need to do is basically what it says here. So we need to finally be able to transition to the planet scene, and we need that scene, all of the planet systems, to load and generate the planet as it should be, okay? So how are we going to do that? First, I need to create a new universe when I hit play in the planetary system scene and save it. So this is partially true. I need to do it everywhere. So I need to create a new universe when I enter any of the scenes directly, okay? So what does that mean? This basically means that whenever, so the chain of generation I explained in the previous stream is that basically when you're like, the way that the game is going to generate a universe and then a constellation and then a planet and then a star and all of that, like it's step by step, it's a chain of generation. That's going to happen when you enter a new game. So when you're in the menu, you hit new game, and then you create, that's the moment when a new universe is generated, and then everything generates from there. So the constellation, then the stars, then the planet, and so on. So whenever you go from there to a different constellation, that constellation is going to be generated at that point, and so on. So that goes infinitely as long as you keep exploring and going to new places, okay? But what happens when I want to test just this scene? So when I hit play here, I didn't do the whole process of going to the menu, then new game, the blah blah blah. Here I'm just entering to a star directly. So what I need to do is something like some kind of environment that lets me test from any scene. And that would be that whenever I hit play on any scene that's not the main menu, I need to generate a random universe, and from there everything's going to be generated quickly, okay? So that's kind of what's happening here. You remember when I was working on the planetary system map, that when I hit play, a new star was generated, and the planets within that star were also generated randomly every time I enter, like every time I hit play. So I need to do that, but instead of only generating the star, I need to generate the universe that contains the constellation, that contains the star, and that contains those planets, okay? So then when I go from here to a planet and then land on that planet, the planet scene is going to be loaded, and it's going to load the universe that I generated here when I hit play, okay? So it's just a thing that lets me, like I said, test a random universe directly from here, so I don't have to go to the menu and hit new game, and every time I want to test something, I can just hit play here and it will generate everything randomly from the get-go. That's what I need to do, okay? So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So how can I do that? Okay, so I think the best thing I should do, like what I should do is well, there's two things I should do. Thing number one is just generate a random universe, okay? Every time I hit play, boom, random universe, random constellation, random star, random planets, everything random, whatever. But I also should do presets, which I kind of have been doing, like not now, but in the past I did some preset classes so that I can, for example, go here. For example, so star presets. I have this, like this class, which I can create files for different presets of stars. So if I want to hit play here, and if I want for the, like if I want the star to be generated with a certain configuration, I can use a preset. So here I say, okay, so the star color, I want it to be green. And then I want it to, the seed should be 78. The name should be blah, blah, blah. And then the planetary system preset is another thing that that says, okay, which planets are going to be generated there. Okay, I want 3. Or no, maybe I want 2. So that's basically what I should be doing also, so that we have presets to test specific configurations, okay? But that's not important right now. So all I need right now is to be able to generate a new universe random when I hit play, and then when I go to the planet, that planet should grab the information from that generated universe and load and generate the planet and the terrain and whatever, okay? So yeah, for that, what I need is basically to go here, planetary system manager, okay? So I will close all of this, okay? And here in the initialize, okay, you can see here that I'm creating a random star with seed 0 for now, okay? So I'm creating a constellation, and then this is a random constellation, and then I'm using the star that's generated in that constellation, okay? So I'm not generating a random star, I'm generating a random constellation that generates a number of random stars, okay? It could be 1, 2, 3, whatever. It doesn't matter, because we're just going to use one of those in that list, and that's it. So what should I do now? I should change this to, instead of generating this, I should generate a new universe, okay? So how can I do that? So let's analyze here, where am I loading the data and creating a new universe. So this code is running in the game init method. So why is this frame rate 0? What the hell? Okay, so I'm just going to remove this because well, I don't know, I'm just going to leave it there. I don't know what this is here, but whatever. So, oh yeah, I know what, because I have in the game engine, I have this, which is for changing the frame rate to test the game in different frame rates to see if everything is consistent. So yeah, whatever, it's not important right now. So this game init is the thing that's basically creating the new universe here in the load game data, okay? So this is not what should happen. Actually, the universe should be created when I go, like I mentioned before, it should be created or loaded whenever I'm in the main menu and go to the universe, like the save game menu, and you select one from there. Or if you go directly to new game, instead of loading a universe, if you go to new game, there the universe should be generated, okay? So how do we change this? Because there's a lot of things that are being run like cold here, and I don't know if any of this really need the universe to be generated. I don't think so. So I think I can just remove this, but I won't, because what's happening here is I'm loading a saved universe, which is not going to be like, is not going to exist because I'm not saving any data. But this should work. But what I should be saving is not the universe entirely. I should be saving like some data. Well, I don't know, actually. I think this, well, maybe this is fine, because if there is, I should have a list of like universes that are created, so those would be your save games. But here I'm just loading one, as if there's just one universe, and that's not true, because there's going to be like, well, I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to create a menu where you can like see a list of universes. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Maybe, or maybe you just have one universe, and when you want to go to a new universe, you just hit new game. But that would mean that the previous universe is basically removed, which is not great. So yeah, for now, I'm just going to add something here. Perfect. So that's great. But here, what's going to happen, since I'm not saving anything right now, what's going to happen is this, which is here I'm creating a new saved universe. You can see here, but that shouldn't happen here, because this is going to happen when I hit play. Well, actually, that's not bad now that I think about it. But I should have another thing. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to go here. Okay, and I'm going to create a new region. Okay, so I'm going to say universe. Okay, I'm just going to say create new universe, and that's going to do this. So create new universe. Okay, so here, now I shouldn't be creating it here, I think, because here I'm just creating a new universe, and if I'm like entering the game to the menu, I shouldn't create a new universe in the menu. There's no reason for me to do that, because the universe, like I said, should be created whenever you hit new game or create universe or whatever, because that's when this is going to receive the seed and blah blah blah. So actually I should just create the seed for this. So our seeds are uint. Yeah, that's perfect. So I just need here the seed and save universe, generation context. So game seed, lemur, blah blah blah. So yeah, okay. So here okay, let me check something here. Game seed, is this being generated? No, this is the unique seed. Okay, so here I'm going to have a uint seed. Maybe I want a different seed, so maybe I need to say bool random seed. Okay, and this is going to be 0, I guess. Okay, perfect. I cannot do this. Okay, great. Yeah, that's perfect. So that's great. Now, here, okay, so save universe. Here, okay, let me think about this. Game seed. Where else am I using this? Game engine, utilities. I guess that's fine. Random. Okay. Okay, so okay, game seeds, planet seed, star seed, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think what's the thing I need to do. So create seed. Okay. So maybe, yeah, what I need to do is go here. This is not public, this is local. Okay, so here maybe I should say void public lemur create random seed, and here I should pass in a uint seed seed origin. I'm going to say by local, do you mean private? Yeah, I just call them local. I don't know, it's just something I do. But yeah, those are private, and that's how I just separate the regions. So yeah. Here I should do something like yeah, so here I'm just going to say seed random seed equals new, and the constructor, what's the constructor? So yeah, I think instead of doing this I should use this as the constructor, seed. I think that's better. And here instead of doing that I would do equals new. Yeah, I think that's cleaner. This also. Some languages with everything public use a prefix, for example, underscore method underscore name. Oh, that's smart actually. Huh. Yeah, that would be a good way to, because like I really like visual distinctions for things. So for example, you can see here that whenever I create a method, and this is the other way around as like it's traditionally done. So whenever I create a method or wherever, like something like that, the parameters, I set the underscore before the name, and that's for, I think that's commonly used for local or private variables to that class. I do it the other way around, so that whenever I see an underscore in any like variable name, I know that it is a parameter. It's like a visual, like quick identification thing, and it's really useful for me. So I don't really care about like following the standards and stuff like that. I do it this way because it's what works for me. And I'm thinking that maybe, for example, not for public methods, but for example, for private methods, I could do the same thing, like add an underscore before. That sounds interesting, actually. I never thought about that. So maybe I could start trying to do that, because it's a great way to identify instantly that this is a like a local or private method. You know, I see this call here. Oh, it has the underscore there. I know it's just a private method. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm going to start trying that, actually, because I don't know, it's interesting. So yeah, that's a good idea. So new random seed, and here I'm going to say seed origin. Okay, and now return random seed. Okay, well, what's wrong with this? Oh yeah, I need to create a lemur. Yeah, that's better. So create random seeded lemur. Okay, so lemur equals new, and I just need to say random seed dot seed. Okay, and now I return that lemur. And now this, whenever I need to create a new universe, let's say I say true here, for example, for random seed. So now here I need the underscore first. So here I would say lemur equals new. Okay, and then I would say random seed. Okay, then I'm just going to say game seeds dot create random seeded lemur. Okay, if not seed. Okay, and then here I just need to say, instead of this, I would say new universe lemur. Now, what's the second parameter? Oh, generation context. Yeah, it's good to have the generation context should be new and empty here. Okay, well, actually, generation context, new context equals new, and here I would say universe UID. Well, no, that's actually going to be created inside the universe, so it's good to have this there. Whatever, that's good. So so yeah, what am I thinking now? Oh yeah, here. So yeah, now, okay, so uint random seed is going to be this. I'm going to say date time dot now dot hour the year plus, what's this? Is this an int? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is year plus month plus day plus hour plus minute. There should be like an easier thing. Instead of doing all of this, maybe it could be, I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do this because I think it's this is the thing that's going to give us a unique, and I could even use second, and also maybe millisecond. Now, I need to convert this to a uint, so I'm just going to cast it uint. Okay, and here, current date time, and I'm going to say seed. Seed. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I actually don't need to do this random seed thing. Create random seeded lemur. Huh. Yeah, I actually don't need to do that. I can just say current date time. And I'm going to call it current date time seed. So yeah, that's a bit nasty here. It's not great, the code actually here. So if we want a random seed, get the current time, date time, make a utility class with seeded stuff. Yeah, so I actually have this class which is called game seeds, and I use it for I have this star seed which is used for every star. Like stars use this seed, which is this seed is going to use also the game seed, but yeah, I don't know. Well, actually I have to actually just check that because I'm not sure I'm using the... Yeah, here you can see that I'm using this. Is the star seed being generated from the... Yeah, I can see here, game seed. Well, with seeded stuff. Yeah, let me think about this, because check saved game seed. Uint first seed, blah blah blah. Where am I checking this? Oh yeah, here when I'm initializing the seeds. So okay. So actually, well, oh man, I would need to actually create a better structure for the seed, like for the managing of the seeds, because yeah, it's not easy. So game seed, constellation seed, star seed, planet seed. Yeah, I'm trying to think about this, because like what I'm thinking is each universe should have its own seed collection. That's what I think. So that, for example, the universe, each universe has its own seed, okay? And from there, that universe is going to have a constellation seed and then a star seed. And each seed, okay, I'm separating the seeds because the generation is going to be different, totally different, if I generate, so let me see if I can explain this. So I have an initial seed, okay? So from this seed, I can generate everything just from this seed. So every random number that I get is going to be random, okay, every time. So the generation is going to be always the same, okay, from that seed. So if I start a new game and I use exactly the same seed, the results are going to be the same. Okay, that's basically how seeding works, how random generation with seeding works. So if I use the same seed, I'm going to get the same generation, okay, in the same order. That's how it works. So that's pretty good for what I have in mind for the game. So that's what I was describing before, that if you want to use the same seed every time in every universe, you're going to get the same planets and stuff if you follow the same steps, okay? So now the thing is, I'm separating some stuff, okay, so that there's not only one seed, because the thing is, if I only use one seed to generate everything, that means that every time I use a new random number from any point in the game generation, I'm going to use one of the steps, okay, of the generation. So let's say I'm using the seed from the constellation, okay? So the constellation says, okay, I want one random number, okay, perfect. But then one of the stars wants another random number, okay, you're going to get this one. But then the planet needs a random number, then uses the next one. So then, but then I generate something again with the star, so the star is going to get the next number. But then the planet needs another number and it's going to get the next one. So the order in which each thing is going to be calling, like is going to be getting a new number from the seed, is going to determine how the next thing is generated. So if the other order changes for some reason, so let's say the player starts in this star, which is this, okay, is going to generate stuff from this star, okay, and it's going to be using steps from this seed, okay, going to be using step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, all from this star. But then the player goes to this star. It means that now all of the next steps on this seed are going to be used by this star. But then let's say this is version like universe 1. Let's say I use universe number 2, okay, and I use the same seed. So I use the same seed, okay, and now the constellation is going to be the same. Let's say the constellation is the same, whatever, and you start again at the same star, okay, you start at that star again. But then instead of going to this star, the player goes to that star. Then everything is going to be different. And also, once the player goes from this to this star, it means that this star is going to generate everything differently, because the steps that it took, okay, are different, because now step number 4 is taken by this instead of this. So the random number that generated, for example, the red planet in this star is going to be taken by this star. So now that star is going to use that number for other things, and whenever you go to this star and this star starts generating stuff, is going to be from, instead of being in step 5, is going to be in step 14. So that means that not everything is going to be the same. It's going to be highly dependent on the steps you take and where you go and what you do. Okay? If in version 1, for example, you used 3 randoms, X planets, and in version 2 you use 4 randoms, then you might have different constellation and not just planets. Exactly. That's exactly what I was explaining here. So that's the issue of having just one seed, and that's why I'm using different seeds for different things. Now, those, like, I'm using all of this, but those are unique, like, not unique, those are, yeah, unique. Those are the only ones that exist in the game. So what happens when you go, let's say universe number 1 uses these seeds, but also universe number 2. So universe number 1 and 2 are going to be using this and the steps and blah blah blah. So like so yeah, basically what's going to happen is, if you go to universe number 1 and you play for a little while, and then you go to universe number 2 and play a while there, and then go back to universe number 1 and continue, what happens after you went back is going to be different than what could happen if you just play in universe number 1 forever. So what I'm trying to say is, whatever you do in either universe should be saved in that place, in that universe, and should not be affected by any other play, like save game or universe or whatever. So how do I solve that? Well, that's a really good question. So like, I need to check something. So yeah, here's the thing. I need to know if whenever I create a new lemur and blah blah blah, I need to know if whenever I use, I think it should work, but one, you cannot regenerate the whole galaxy. Exactly, everything has to be generated as you go. So if you go to a new star, that new star is going to generate everything at that point. It's not going to be generated beforehand. That's exactly right. So what I need to do is, basically, when I create a universe, the universe should be the one that contains all of this information. So this should not be a mono behavior. This should be called a different thing. So this should be called, instead of that, it should be called universe. Okay. And then here, instead of game seed, this should be called universe. And then here, I'm going to, yeah, and also instead of that, I should use camel case, because whatever. Okay, then test. Yeah, test, I'm just going to remove this, and I don't think I'm going to use that. So here, check saved. Yeah, that's whatever. I don't need this. I also don't need this. And whatever, like this init should not be like that. This should be the constructor. Okay. So I'm just going to remove this and this too. Okay. So universe seed, this is a wrapper basically. And this should go there. What? Oh yeah, Neptosmic, Voyager, utilities. That works. Okay. I think I see another problem. What is it? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Tell me what it is. Okay, so yeah, this next uint. Okay, yeah, this works. I think I can just remove this. 2, you need to regenerate the seeds on the next stars. Oh yeah, so actually the star seed is going to be used for exactly that. So the star seed is only going to be used to generate the stars. So whenever I need to generate a new star, I only going to be used this only then. So that means that the steps are going to be always the same. And the same thing for the constellation. Every time I need to create a new constellation, I'm going to use this seed. Now, there's one thing, and like, there's one thing here. So, let's say, so I already talked about this in the past. So, let's say we start a new game, okay? New game. Okay. What happens here? So, new universe. Okay, let's do this in Figma, and I think it's going to be faster. It's going to take forever otherwise. So, let's go here to a random place, okay? New game. Okay, what's going to happen on a new game? So, what happens in a new game is going to be the following, okay? So, I'm going to do this. Sorry, actually smaller. Now this new universe created, okay? New constellation created, okay? Just one. New set of stars created. Actually, I should be using like some kind of numerical thing instead of the bulleted list. Yeah. Okay. Okay, perfect. So 3, you are going to be in one of those stars. New set of planets are created for that star. And instead of creating, I'm going to say generated. Okay, generated. Okay, so you see how this works, okay? So when you enter a new game, a new universe is generated. Inside that universe, a new constellation is going to be generated with a set of stars. And you are going to be in one of those stars. For that star that you're in, a new set of planets is going to be generated, okay? And then you're going to be in one of those planets. And so on, okay? So basically, whenever the universe generates, whenever you enter a new game, you're going to be already in one planet, okay? You spawn in one planet, and the whole hierarchy of things is going to be generated already. So the universe with the constellation, with the star, with the planet. you're going to be inside one of those things, like a planet that belongs to a star, that belongs to a constellation, that blah blah blah. So now what happens here? When you're inside a constellation, okay, I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, let's say you're inside this constellation, okay? You can go to any of the stars, whatever, blah, blah, blah. From this constellation, you can discover either one or many or multiple constellations, okay? And let me check that really quick, because I already defined how this works, okay? So you can see here that I decided that from one constellation there's going to be a number, this is an array, there's going to be a number of observable constellations that you can discover and go to, okay? So from this constellation you can go to a different number of constellations. More than one is already enough to create parallel branches. Exactly. So from this constellation you can go to this one, for example, and also to this one. I don't know, you can already imagine the idea, okay? So, and then from this one you can go to a number of other ones, and from this one a number of other ones, and from this one, and this is, you can already see the branching of generation. So I had to decide, like I had to make a design decision for this, because this is what is going to define if the same universe is going to be exactly the same however you play it. So if I do this, that from one constellation you can go to multiple constellations, it means that the same universe can be played a number of different ways. Because if you go first to this one, then second here, or whatever, if you decide to go here, okay, in your first playthrough in universe number 1, if you decide to go to this one instead of this one, what it means is that the generation is going to be one way, okay? But if instead you decide to go here in your, I don't know, you generate the same universe with the same seed, but you instead decide to go to this constellation, then that means that the generation is going to be different from there, okay? So there's a little like aspect of decision making. So every playthrough, even though you can play in the same universe with the same seed, if you do things differently, that same universe can be different, okay? Now I could not do that, for example, and only do it so that you only go to you can only go to one constellation from each constellation. So for example, if you only go to one constellation every time, so from here you can only go there, and from this one you can only go to another one, which is this, then what means is that it's going to be completely linear and it's going to be always the same, which is valid too. So I don't really know. I really like the like this. I really like this because it means that the same universe has already replayability value, so replay value. The easiest is to generate on start the entire universe. Yeah, so I'm going to do that in certain way, but like whenever you go here, yeah, it's hard because you don't know how much the player is going to be playing in that universe. So what's interesting is that the player can keep playing and discovering new constellations and new stars and new things and infinitely, and that's a really good thing. It's not like the game has no end, basically. because you want a deterministic universe in development. Yeah, but this would work the same way that No Man's Sky does. Well, kind of. No Man's Sky has just one universe, but that's because they have only one universe generated in their database, which is a server, basically. So like every player is playing under the same universe, even though like players are discovering new planets. Those planets are being generated when you discover them. They are not like pre-generated, but the universe is the same. In this game, you can have like different universes if you want to. It's the same as Minecraft. Minecraft is not just one really infinite and big world that everyone plays in the same world. Every new world that's created in Minecraft is going to be generated randomly, and is not going to be the same as any other world because it uses random seeds, unless you use the same seed again. But it's different because in Minecraft there's like the generation is just a world, and it's going to be just the terrain, and like there's not a lot of things going on. It's just the world and the terrain, and how like where the certain biomes are, and where enemies spawn, and where are the dungeons and that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. Unless you create a predeterministic way order to traverse the universe. Yeah, so that's basically what I was describing just now. So if I make it so that from a constellation you can only go only to one other constellation, then that's deterministic. This order allows you to have same seeds for each planet. Yeah, exactly. So that could be done this way. If I make it in a way that from each constellation you can only go to one new constellation, okay? You can only discover one new constellation instead of a random number. Then this is going to be deterministic, and every time is going to be the same always. Like the generation is going to be the same always, because you're going to be generating new the next constellation is going to always be the same. But the way it is right now is like this. It matters where you go from the initial constellation. So the initial constellation is going to be always the same, and the initial constellations you can go to are always going to be the same. But what's going to be deterministic about how the rest of the universe is generated is where you go in the first place. So yeah, and every time you go to a different constellation is going to change how the universe generates. So like I said, if you go first to this, so let's say you have 1, 2, 3, and then from here you have other 3 constellations, and from here too. If you go first here, okay, I'm going to change the color so that it's easier to whatever. So let's say you first go here and then go here, or maybe just here to this one. This is one generation. But if you then go here and then there, this is another generation. But if you go, let's say here and then here, that's another generation. But if you go here and then here, or there, that's another generation. That's I don't know, that's fun. I think that's great. Such an interesting problem. Maybe we can use the XY of the constellation as seed. Yeah, no, actually what I'm using as a seed is just a random number generated by the Lemur system I have. This is a system that's a seeded random generator. and it's going to, it's really good. It's a really good algorithm for generating random numbers. And also constellations don't have a position because it's like whatever, it's in the universe, it's abstract, so they don't have a position. I could add that, but right now, to like just to make it simple, I'm using this system and just generating a new random number, and that's the seed. And then, so every time I generate a new constellation, I say, okay, give me a random number. Okay, that's your seed. I need to create a new constellation. Okay, new random number. That's your seed. So that's how I'm doing it now. We talk about it offline. Okay, yeah, great. You can set your ideas to the Discord channel, of course. I have the same issue for my icebreaker. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, of course. Like it's really good. It's really interesting, really cool. So I really like trying different things. Of course, I can always change how everything is. So it's not a big deal. I'm just experimenting right now. So yeah, that's pretty good. Now, continuing with this. This document, can I rename it here? Yeah, I don't think so. Let's go here. Well, this is going to throw a lot of errors, I think. Maybe not, but I don't know. It should. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. Okay, so game seeds. Okay, so here, instead of calling it game seeds, this should be called universe seeds. Okay, and I'm going to move that to, okay, why is it not changing? Oh, it takes time. Okay. okay. So yeah, here universe seeds, I'm going to move this to the universe folder, whatever, it's fine there. And now I can go here and open it again. Now in the game engine, I'm going to have the universe seeds class, but I don't, that's not where it should be. So I'm going to remove this. Okay. And here, instead of doing this, the seed should be initialized in the same universe thing. So the universe class, like the saved universe, is going to be the one that contains the seeds. So public universe seeds, okay? So that's where it should go, because, and that's another thing I need to check if this works, because I'm saving this, like the whole class, the actual, like the current instance with the information and stuff is going to be saved to a file locally in the computer. So I need to check if the state of the seeds is saved too. So for that, it's really simple. I just need to generate like a sequence of numbers, and I need to ensure that every time I get to a certain point, the random number that it's generated is the same as before. So yeah. Now universe seeds. Okay, so yeah, this is going to throw like to complain and blah blah blah. So constellation, okay. So yeah, start a mer. What am I using here? I'm using this. This other one is not being used for generating a constellation. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, classes are like pretty interconnected. So yeah, here instead of doing that, I need to say, yeah. Okay, let me think about this. This is not easy, of course. It's not easy, but oh my god. So Star Lemur. Okay, I'm trying to think. So first of all, here instead of init, I should have the constructor, which would be universe seeds, and I should have seed uint initial So I received the universe seed, and then universe seed is going to be a new, going to be called universe seed, and it's going to get the universe seed. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add comments. First, generate the universe seed, which is the first seed to then generate everything else. Okay, that's perfect. From there, all of the other seeds are going to be generated from the universe seed. Okay, perfect. So you can see here, first I create the universe seed, okay, which is going to be created by the whatever seed we pass here, which could be a random seed based on the current date time. So that's going to be random if you hit a new game, whatever. Or you can use another, like a manual, like a whatever seed you want. Okay, so you can pass here, for example, seed number 38, because you liked that universe that was generated with that seed. Okay, so that's perfectly fine. And then this universe is going to be generated, and this is going to generate number 1, number 2, number 3. You can see that the steps are going to be always the same. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so from here, this is really good. This is perfect. Okay. So here, when I create a new universe, I also need to create the seed. So the saved universe is going to need a seed. Okay. And I think I'm trying to think what does each class need to generate the things it needs to generate. So for example, in the case of the universe, I think that having the universe inherit from properties doesn't make any sense, I think. Even though it has a UID, it shouldn't be inheriting from this, because the universe is the one that's going to have the initial seed and blah blah blah. And yeah, I don't think this makes sense. I don't think so, because properties, this Who doesn't have UID? Even dogs have UID nowadays. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe like if we are living in a simulation, each one of us have a UID, and also the UID could be our DNA, if you think about it. That's really interesting. So yeah, properties have a reference to a UID, a generation context, a lemur, and blah blah blah. So the universe doesn't need all of this. The things that need all of this are the other things that generate from the universe. So I don't think I need this. I do need a UID though. That thing I do need. So generation context. Yeah. Here, what I need to do is generation context is going to be a new thing where this is like that. Okay. And I'm going to move this comment here. And this doesn't make any sense also. And here I also don't need to be receiving any generation context because the universe is the generation context. Okay, so here I'm going to remove this. Okay, perfect. Now definition. Class inheritance probably is better suited when they share behaviors method more than data. Yeah, you're also right. So here I'm not only sharing data, I'm also sharing the constructor. So yeah, maybe there's a better way for me to do this, but for now I think this is more than enough, I think. So for example, here this class should not be called definition. I don't know, maybe it needs to, I don't know, whatever. So but in this case the saved universe has a UID, but it has the universe seeds, which is unique for this class. And then this contains the star field, and the star field contains the constellations, and the constellation contains the stars, and the stars contain the planets. And you can see it's all branching to the bottom, like top to bottom, and the top level is the universe, and it goes downwards basically. So that's how I think about it. So I'm also not an engineer, so I know that there's a lot of things that I'm not doing in the best and optimal way, but it doesn't matter as long as it works and I can scale it properly, like, and it's easy to work on. That's all I need. So yeah, I think that's great. So yeah, that's perfect. Now star field generation context. Now, do I need to pass here the lemur? I don't think so. What the universe needs is the initial seed, I believe. So initial seed, which would be, instead of initial seed, it would be universe seed. Okay, so now here I will create universe seed. It's going to be a new thing, and I'm going to pass through the universe seed. Okay, that's perfect. And from here, what do I need to pass for the star field? And what is the thing in common that every generated thing needs? I think maybe the lemur is fine. So yeah, I don't know. It's not easy. So Okay, so let's think about this. So, for example, the starfield needs the lemur, and everything needs a lemur because this is the thing that's going to be generating new random numbers. Okay, but like not everything should be using the same lemur. Like the lemur is basically the seed. Okay, so lemurs are created with a seed, and they are going to be giving us random numbers. So I'm trying to think like how, like to which level I want to be passing the general seeds instead of creating a new seed for yeah, this is not easy, but like maybe what I need instead of the lemur, what I need is a seed. So for example, here, instead of having this, maybe I need a seed. So the seed would be, I'm going to move this here. This object, the seed is the thing that contains, well, it has the seed name, it has seed, of course, and it has the lemur, which is basically, in essence, the random number generator that's going to generate random numbers from this seed. So that's a seed object in this context, basically. So should I receive a seed here instead of a lemur? I think that's what I need. Okay, on properties, yeah. So here, instead of passing the lemur, maybe I need the seed. So seed, you know, and here seed, and instead of calling it lemur, I'm going to call it seed. Okay, and also here it will be called seed. So here, instead of creating it with that, I would say seed. And here I would say seed. Okay. So that should work. UID equals new. Now, is this okay? The UID? Is properties the base item in your game world? Properties is the base class for everything that's generated. Usually they are called entity. No, those are different things in the project. So entity is for anything that's like an NPC or the player or an enemy or anything that's an entity. Properties is the base class for anything that's going to be generated in the universe. So a planet has a planet.properties class. So that planet is going to define whatever gets generated when I create a new planet. So that's why I have this constructor that's shared between all of the stars and planets and constellations. Okay, they're one instance of a properties class. And your entity is a child of properties too? No. Entity is a different thing. It's not a property. It's entity let me show you. So entity is a mono behavior because it's a runtime, not a runtime. It's a, think about it as a prefab of a character. Basically, that's an entity. And the entity is going to have an ID, it's going to have an entity behavior, which is the state machine, it's going to have stats, it's going to have an Neptosmic, which is my animator system, it's going to have an input controller. That's for entities and beings in the game. And those are like, even though they are like, for example, NPCs and enemies are generated randomly in the game, the thing that makes them like have logic and work in the game is this script, which controls like the character. It's like the entity is the thing that controls the states and the animations and the input, and whenever the entity jumps or attacks or receives damage. So that's the entity class. It's a different thing, a totally different thing from properties. So yeah, maybe I could have like something connected between entity and properties because like I said before, but I didn't work on that yet. Like I'm not right now, I'm not generating enemies or NPCs or anything. I'm not even working on that right now. There's no enemies in NPCs that doesn't exist in the project now. So I'm just working with the universe generation right now. That's all I'm doing. So yeah. Okay, so it's been almost 2 hours, but I think I'm going to stay for a bit longer because I want to keep exploring this for a moment and see if that... I want to see if this is viable and if this works, basically. So yeah, there's... Okay, so here, saved universe. Yeah, here instead of creating a new universe lemur, all I need to pass here is new universe seed is going to be random seed. Okay, then I use current date times seed. If not, I'm going to use seed, and from here I can just say new universe seed. Okay, perfect. That's how we create a new universe. We can create it with a set seed, okay, a manually set seed or a random seed. Okay, that's perfect actually. Now from here, how is everything else going to be generated? So okay, so the seed here, so for example here in the universe, I'm not going to be passing a lemur here. What I need to pass is a seed. So how do I create a seed here? Well, for the star field, I could create a new seed, or I could use the universe seed. So here I could say, for example, universe seeds dot universe seed dot seed. No, doesn't work. Oh yeah, it doesn't work because I have to go to definition star field and fix this, basically. So yeah, here I'm actually going to remove this because I don't really need it. Well, I do need it, so I have to implement the constructor. So there's it. That's it. So that's all I needed. Perfect. Now I have to go to the next level, which is constellation. And here is where everything is really broken. So yeah, everywhere where there's this, I'm going to say Control F2. I'm going to call it seed. Okay, not that, just seed. And here I'm going to say seed. Okay, perfect. So lemur instead of lemur is that. That's perfect. Now I have to change, well, you can see now lemur. I'm using lemur everywhere, so I'm gonna have to to start working on this. So yeah, I think I'm going to stay for maybe 1 more hour or so, maybe like 50 minutes, something like that. Okay, that's perfect. So okay. Where else? So here, for example, seed. Well, I can just do Control F2. Is this only going to replace it here in this class? Please tell me this didn't broke. Okay, yeah, so Control F2 basically replaces whatever word you want within the same class. So that's great. Okay, perfect. So oh yeah, and here under seed I had a lot of methods and I basically removed them for some reason, so have to go to fork and bring back all of those methods I was using. So oh yeah, and I should turn on the light, the room light. Give me one moment. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot better actually. So yeah, that's great. Can I just increase this? Do I look really like burnt? I think that's let me see in like full screen. Okay, is that good? Like this is like the lowest level. Level 1 or 2, level 3, 4, 5. I'm between 4 and 5. I think that's good. That's a good. That's more even. Okay, great. So now here I need to go to game seeds. Is it here? They all works. Okay, good. Oh yeah, this is what I need to do. So yeah, I need to copy and paste this. Perfect. Now, why am I doing that instead of this? Huh. What? So why is there that? Okay. Well, this works, I guess. But why is this working where I'm using that kind of... Why is this working? seed.nextInt and I'm using... Oh, yeah. Yeah. So now... Yeah, I should do this. Okay. Now it works. Okay, whatever. So, under constellation, I have to close this. Okay, great. So under constellation, yeah, here I'm passing the thing there. So perfect. Now I should be replacing this with seed. I don't know where I press whatever. And here should be not that, but seed. Okay. I'm going to copy that. Okay, perfect. That works. Here, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of places where this is broken. So now to fix this, like I think when I get to fix the constellation thing, I have to do the work, like the mental work to understand if like how I should be using each seed and when I should be creating a new seed for whatever thing I need. So okay. Because, like, for example, constellation should have a reference to the constellation seed. Should it have that? No, to the star seed. So whatever thing creates constellations should be creating them using the constellation seed. And whatever thing creates stars should be using the star seed. Okay, so how does that work? Okay, so constellation in this case would be using the star seed. Okay, yeah, I see. Okay. Now, is this seed going to be used for anything else that's not generating stars? I don't know, but I think that whenever a constellation is created, yeah, there's a couple points. Okay. So let's, yeah, give me one moment. I will be right back. And to go to the bathroom, and I will be back in a moment. Okay, you can play some Arkanoid. Hey. Let's go. I can see there you got like an error message not sent. Your message is identical to the one you sent within the last 30 seconds. Me puedes resumir todo el stream pero en italiano. Piacere. P1 cannot be a sequence. Oh, that's really bad. Huh. That's really weird. So it should work. Yeah, I think there's something in the auto mod maybe that I should configure there. Yeah, maybe I should turn off something from the auto mod. 4x4. Io sono Franco, io sono di Argentina. Death to auto mods. Yeah, actually they're quite annoying with some stuff, but It's a bit useful for some things, but not for everything. Okay, let's go back to work. Sorry, I removed the game. Do you want to finish the game? I can go back to that scene if you want. You were about to win. I don't know what I did, why I did that, actually. Sorry about that. I was distracted, my mind was in a different place, so yeah. It's all good? Okay. We can play if you want. At the end of the stream, we can play a little Arkanoid before ending. Okay. So let me think about this. Yeah, actually, I was thinking that maybe the actual creation of like important things, which is, for example, when creating a new planet, when creating a new star, when creating a new constellation, all of those things, I think that maybe I should be doing that here in the universe class. Not because it's the, like, of course, like single responsibility and blah blah blah, but like instead of creating that in the constellation should tell the universe, hey, create this, I want to create a new star here. So I don't know, maybe I don't need to do that, but what I was thinking is that like each new thing should have a new seed, okay? Like, for example, each constellation should have its own seed, so that everything like below, like inside that constellation, for example, each star is going to have a new seed created from that one. And or for example, if the constellation needs to generate something that's not a star, it should use its own seed instead of the star seed, so that way I can ensure that the star seed is only being used for generating stars, and the same for the constellation star seed, and the same for the planet seed and all of that. So for example, right now, universe seeds, you can see that here I only have one reference of each thing, and the only references I should have of each one of the seeds should be in the places where I need to create a new planet, a new constellation, a new star. Okay, sorry about that. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so here in the constellation, whenever I create a new star, okay, okay, so here, Star Lemur, I'm using one, and I'm using that one to, like, I'm passing that as a reference to the blah blah blah. So instead of doing this, what I should do is actually create the star seed here. This is going to be called new star seed, and that seed is going to be generated from universe saved universe. How do I access the universe? I think it's well, I can basically say oh yeah, I don't want to create references to the game engine. I just want to be as decoupled as I can. But where definition star is here, star properties, save universe, blah blah blah. Okay, so yeah, either way I'm using the game engine. Okay, so whatever, what I'm going to do is here going to say game engine dot saved universe, which, you know what, I'm going to be changing this in the future, because like I said, there's not like just one universe. There's going to be like multiple universes. So instead of saved universe, I should call this current universe. That's how it should be called. And instead of like, yeah, saved universe is fine, I think. So here I can say just universe. No, that's fine. Saved universe. Then this file name should be changed. So I'm going to do that now. I think mono behavior is already Unity. What do you mean? Definitions. Okay. And then universe definition. Yeah, definition, whatever. I'm going to leave it as it is now. I don't need to be doing this. So here, when I create a new seed, I just need to say current universe dot universe seeds dot star seed dot seed. No? What do I need? Oh, the name. Okay, new star seed. Okay, so yeah, to create a new star, what I need here. Oh yeah, this is annoying because I'm going to be repeating code like in a certain way. So let me just do this and see where I can optimize it. So uint new star seed. New seed. Okay, I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, that's not what I need. I need to say starseed dot next uint. That's what I need to do. So new seed, and then the name of the star. Well, it's the name of the seed. I don't know why I'm like setting a name to the seeds. I don't know why I'm doing that actually. I'm just going to remove that because I'm not using like the seed name anywhere, and I'm going to remove it here too. So yeah, I think that's really dumb. I mean, I don't need it for now. If I need it in the future, I'm going to add it, but for now I don't know why I was doing that. Whatever. So here, new seed and new seed. Okay. And I can also just put this, instead of creating a new variable, I'm just going to do that. It's a really long line, but whatever. I don't care, honestly. So, okay, there's not much time left, but I'm going to try to get as far as I can. Okay. So new star properties, new star seed. Why doesn't it work? Well, it doesn't work because I need to change the constructor and blah blah blah. But this is good, okay? Because I now star properties, instead of asking for a seed, it's not going to do that anymore. Okay. And yeah, I don't need to do this. Okay. Now I should also, yeah, whenever I create a new star properties, I'm calling this create star. And here I should be doing the same thing. So I should be doing this actually. So yeah, but the thing is, new star seed, instead of creating it from the star seed thing, I should be doing that. But why do I have two constructors for creating a constellation? Well, Yeah, so this, like the basic constellation properties, so here's the deal. What happens with this is that, for example, constellations can be generated in two ways. Number one is just generated completely randomly, okay? But the number two is generated from some basic data that was generated before, okay? So what do I mean with this? Okay, so let's say you are in a planet, okay, and you see a constellation, and then you want to go to that constellation. This basic constellation properties class basically is going to hold all of, like the basic information for that constellation, which is the number of stars and the connections and the position of the stars and things, so that I can display that constellation without having to generate everything. I only need the stars and the shape of the constellation, and that's it. So that I can show it in the sky and you can see it and blah blah blah. So that's why I need this. Now then, when we finish creating a constellation, I'm going to use this, okay? But what I'm thinking now is that maybe I don't need to do like two constructors here, because like what I should be doing is I should have a method here that says, for example, finish creating constellation or something like that, which is something I already have in other classes, okay? And that's something that I'm thinking right now that maybe should go here under properties, okay? So it should be maybe a virtual class, okay? Public virtual void, not a virtual class, a virtual method. So public virtual void finish creating data, okay? Now the thing is, maybe this needs some extra information. So for example, definition star, I think star already has, yeah, you can see here it has this method called finish creating data. So that would be some inheritance I could do. Then, for example, definition planet also has this finish creating data function. So what I could do is just say virtual override and base.finish blah blah blah. Okay, so that's what I could do in the case that I need to. Okay, so I can just do this also in the constellation. Okay. So, for example, here, instead of creating a new constellation and passing the basic constellation properties that I created before and all of that, I can just create, like, when I create a new constellation, I can just say, okay, let's create like a half, like one, like the basic properties, the basic information, and then I can say, okay, I want to finish creating the constellation. Okay, so I can go and say finish creating data. So that way I would not need to have two constructors. So yeah, I think that's going to be the best. So yeah, here for example, fix me to be completely safe. We should check if this seed exists in the current universe, but for now it's fine. Blah blah blah. Single star seed. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here, for example, is yeah, define of several. You can see that I'm repeating the code here. What's the only thing that's different is this, the when I create the stars. And why is that? I want to analyze this and see why. So for example, here I'm doing the same thing, here I'm doing the same thing. Now here, this is the only place where this is different. And why is that? Why is this different now? I don't know. So here, so yeah, let me just go here and just remove this, okay? And I'm going to void stars, and I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to move this, okay? And here, create stars. Okay, so here I'm going to have this for loop, and I'm going to remove this. And sure, I'm going to break a lot of things. Hopefully I'm not going to, I don't know. But for example, here, new startup properties. This is perfect. So I have only this and blah, blah, blah. So this is the stuff that should be, that should be void, create stars. Yeah. So here I should do override, finish creating data, and this should be called there. Okay. That makes more sense because all of this should only be created whenever I entering that constellation, but before, it doesn't need to be created before. Okay. Whenever I create a new constellation, I can choose to only just generate the basic properties and finish creating data or not. So that's what I'm going to do. And here, well, this is throwing errors because I don't know, but I'm going to move this down here. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to put this a little closer, and here, well, this is like complaining here because I need to go to definition start. Okay. And here I need to, of course, just, yeah, so creating star from preset, whatever. I'm just going to remove this and do it differently. Okay. Now here, what I need is to do get from star field, frontier, blah, 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 based. Yeah, this is completely broken. Yeah, this should be seed. I'm always pressing enter there. I'm so dumb. So I'm just going to do that and say seed again. I'm going to remove this because I don't need that. And here I would say Control F2 seed. Now the thing is, under this script, there's a lot of other classes, so that's going to be a pain. Yeah, and also same here, I think. Yeah, get next int. And instead of doing that, I'm going to do that. I think that works. Where else do I have this? Get random number with probability. Oh yeah, I need to say seed.lemur. That's perfect. Okay. Okay, that's with the constellation. That should work basically. Now, yeah, you can see here I have two constructors. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to be refactoring all of this later, but for now I think it works. Here, for example, the star. So now star seed, yeah, I just have to remove this because it already has a seed. Okay, everything has a seed now. That's the thing. And Okay, that's fine. So I'm receiving a seed. That's perfect. Now I'm defining the whatever. So now why is this public, for example? That doesn't make any sense. Set properties in constellation. Where am I calling this? Position index, position in constellation. Base.seed, why is that? Get random color seed.lemur, is that what I need? Yeah. Now star name is going to be seed.seed. Okay. Now the seed, this is not there anymore. Star color. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I would like wrap inside another class called, for example, base star properties or basic star properties. Okay, so for that, for example, I could create a new thing here. Okay, and I could say, I could just copy the same one here. Landing star seed. Oh yeah, seed. Okay. Perfect. And now, for example, I can copy this. Well, this is a really long class, so I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to call it basic star properties. Now, do I need to make it a properties thing? I don't know. For now, I'm just going to leave it like that. But here I should have, like, for example, I should have the frontier, the star name, the star color. Okay, so those three basic things should be in basic star properties. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's great. But yeah, for example, here the basic star properties really don't care about the generation context, I guess. But yeah, whatever. So, or maybe they do, but I don't know. So yeah, all of those values should be generated there. Okay, and for now, color from palette. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say basic star properties equals new, and I'm going to say seed. Well, I could create a new seed in a new generation context. Okay, so for example, I need to create a new seed, and new context. Okay, whatever, and then here I could say, for example, seed.next uint, and here new context is going to be new, and it's going to be universe UID is going to be generation context of universe UID. Constellation UID, generation constellation UID, and then star UID is going to be UID. Okay, that's what I need to do, and here I can just pass new seed and new context. Okay, that should work, and here I should create the actual things that are relevant to the basic properties, and then like planetary system properties should be defined whenever this should be called from like in the finish creating data, I think, because here, for example, space vacuum properties. Well, let's see what does this class have. For example, the planet count. Okay. Planetary system properties. What do I have here? Okay. Okay. Okay, I see. I see. Okay. So for example, there's something here I can move, which is, for example, okay, there's a lot of things here. It's a really complex system I made, but I think it's really good, but I need to refactor this in a way that makes sense for how the universe should be generated and everything. So yeah, I see myself like refactorizing all of these scripts really often. So I hope this is for like the final time, the last time. So here, for example, it should be c.lemur. Okay. So when I'm defining the planet count, maybe that should go under basic star properties, or maybe it shouldn't go there. I don't know. So when I'm defining, like, when creating the planetary system properties, which is basically like you see here, planetary system properties, this like current planet and planets, and this is creating like the planets basically. I think that should be under the finish creating data. I think so. I don't know. So yeah, should separate this. Yeah, I'm just going to create that when I finish creating the data. Okay, so here define planetary system blah blah blah, and this should go here under properties. And the same thing, I'm going to do the same thing with this, which I think I already did. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So we create all the other properties when entering the star. It gets saved to save universe at this very moment. This will ensure that the other properties objects get reference to the saved star from saved universe. Okay. Makes sense. So yeah, there's a couple things I'm generating afterwards, but the first thing I should generate here is just the basic properties, okay? Basic star properties. Now, properties in constellation. That's like, I don't know where I'm calling this. So set properties in constellation. Where the hell am I using that? It looks like I'm not using it like anywhere. It only found it here. So I don't really know why this is like this. Properties in constellation, position index, position in constellation. I'm not sure. So yeah. Huh. Yeah, maybe this don't need to go anywhere. Maybe. Where am I accessing this actually? So let's see that. Under star. Okay. And then in definition constellation. Starlit, position in constellation equals blah blah blah. Now, let me go here and yeah, so I'm not. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't understand why I'm not actually like calling this from anywhere else. Maybe I removed the code where this was being called. So maybe under planet or like constellation system, maybe. Oh yeah, there's a lot of errors here too, so this is tougher than I expected. So yeah, this is a bit tough, honestly. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of work that I have to do. There's a lot of work that I have to do here, so yeah. Now it's really confusing for me that this doesn't have any reference, like anywhere. It's not, but it seems like it's the only place where I'm creating the properties in constellation, which is setting the position index and position in constellation. So I don't know why this is not being set. Oh, maybe this was here in the other constructor. And that's why. Maybe that's the case. Let me go to the definition constellation. So this is the old constructor. Yeah, here. Define landing star. This was one of the places. So why define landing star is... Why did I remove all of this? Oh yeah, because I also need to create this in create stars, I think. So maybe I need to define landing star. Oh yeah, this is really getting really complex right now, but we'll get there. So define stars count, blah blah blah, define observable, blah blah. So here I think I should do this, maybe an index. Yeah, it's not being like, where do I have the index thing? Create star, seed, and index. Okay, perfect. So here the index is going to be I, and this is going to be I too. So star positions. Well, what else do I need to add there? So UA blah blah blah. Star properties, Lemur seed. Okay. So what's this list? Start positions I, basic properties. So basic properties is already created. Start positions. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That should work. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's what I needed to do basically. Set properties in constellation. Okay. Okay, now it makes sense. But maybe this is one of the things that need to be created from the constructor also, maybe. So I don't really know. Well, I should go soon, really soon, shortly. So I will be leaving soon, but I need to like leave a note here, like the task. Okay, so that's for transition into the planet scene. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. Now I need to definitions refactoring. So here I'm going to write this, and then I will go. And there's going to be a lot of errors here, so I need to establish here something. So universe seeds should only be used when creating one of each thing: constellation, star, etc. Okay. Okay, perfect. So universe seed should only be used when creating a new constellation, star, planets, etc. Each properties object should has its own seed now, and that seed should be used to create things that are relevant to that thing. Okay. For example, inside planet, terrain should be using its own seed instead of the universe of one of the universe seeds. Okay, perfect. So with that, I think I have like a better sense of what I need to do. So yeah, sadly, I will have to leave this with full of errors, but yeah, I really have to go now. So yeah. So that's pretty good. We made quite a bit of progress. That's pretty good. And I think we're like, I don't know how many times I refactorized all of this thing, like system structure and things for the properties and the definition of the things that are generated for like, so the universe, the constellation, the stars, all of that, like all of this system, I don't know how many times I refactored that, but I think we are getting to a better structure, and yeah, that's what I do every time I refactor this. I try to get to the better version, and the structure that better suits the project and what I need to do. So the way that the universe is going to work and be creating and everything is going to be generated, that's like the system, the way I'm refactoring it right now, is going to be much better for that kind of thing right now. Okay, so yeah, I'm not phrasing things. Okay, and my doorbell is ringing, so give me one moment, okay? Okay, so I have to go now. I have to go to the door and receive some stuff. So yeah, that's basically what I was talking about. We are going to finish the stream right now, okay? Because I really need to leave now. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very, very much for supporting me. Thank you for helping me get to affiliate on Twitch. Thank you very much. Ciala, Thank you again very much for always being here and supporting, and for the beats. That was amazing. Thank you for supporting. Don't forget to join the Discord, okay, if you want to share stuff there or be notified when I go live. Okay, that's the way to go. Join the Discord and subscribe to YouTube if you want to watch my previous streams, and follow me on Twitch. And that's going to be the stream for today. Okay, thank you very much, and I have to go now, so see you in the next stream. Okay, bye bye.
you